Today I'm talking about saving time when producing videos. If you want to make more content without burning out, then you need to learn how to produce videos faster. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through my 6 favorite ways to increase the speed of my production workflow, which will not only decrease the time it takes for you to produce videos, but it will also increase their quality. After watching this, I guarantee that you will think differently about the way that you produce your videos. By the way, my name's Nathan. I spent over a year researching content and I've spoken to over 50 creators asking them what their biggest struggles are. And the number one thing that most of them said was their biggest bottleneck was not having enough time. So with that being said, let's dive right in. Okay, tip number 1 is to do with something called the trade-off. Think of every editing process like a trade-off between time and perfection. At the beginning, most people will start with an idea that everything needs to be perfect. You'll get the perfect first take, the perfect editing, the perfect tone, the perfect speech. Everything will be perfect and in line. However, perfection takes a lot of time, and when you strive for absolute perfection, your trade-off is the time it takes for you to produce that piece of content. The point I'm trying to make is not to make your videos low quality, but to think about how you'll improve in the process of uploading regularly, rather than chasing perfection every single time you upload, because if you chase perfection, you're not going to upload consistently and you'll be burnt out. And that's just how it goes. And that's another thing, particularly with the filming part of the video. A lot of creators will spend a lot of time trying to get that perfect take in filming before they even take it to post-production. But the truth is that any mistake that you make in the filming can just be corrected in post-production. And this is the thing, perfection is a great thing to shoot for in the end, but it can be damaging, as I mentioned, in the short run when it comes to your consistency. I came up with an analogy to help you understand what I'm saying a bit better, but imagine a normal person watches a Mr. Beast video. Mr. Beast, he's the biggest YouTuber in the world. He spends hundreds of thousands of dollars on the production of his videos. And if a normal person saw Mr. Beast's video and said, I want to make a video just like that, it would take him years of learning how to edit, hiring thumbnail artists, learning how to film, before he even got remotely close to that level of perfection. So if you're relatively new to content, just remember that you get better by iterating, not by chasing perfection on the first go. Okay, tip number 2 is automation and AI. And this is actually one of the biggest time savers, but most people will ignore it. A great example of where to use AI is captions. Now, I use Final Cut Pro for my A cuts when I'm editing video. However, the caption function on that software is extremely limited. It's basically one button that you press and a line of captions appears at the bottom, filling the entire screen and looking really boring and unengaging. The alternative is typing up captions and getting them to be placed anywhere in the screen with different sizes and fonts. But this is really time consuming. With a long form video especially, this process can literally take hours because you need to type in every caption, crop it, and time it to when the speech is said. The alternative is using AI. I've been using a platform called Descript, which I find satisfies this need perfectly. Now, I am actually really careful with where I use AI, because in my view, editing and storytelling is a very creative process, and overusing AI can actually do more harm than good. However, captions is a perfect example of how you can use it efficiently. So with Descript, it's one button, and you can insert captions for the entire video while cropping it to size so you can determine where it is in the screen and how many words long each line is. Now sure, it's nothing cinematic or super fancy, but it does the job way better than a normal caption function and can be really useful, especially for those long form videos. Okay, tip number 3 is to do with sound effects. Now I'm a huge advocate for sound effects. I believe good sound design goes hand in hand with good video design, and it's just as important. However, I've spoken to so many creators who take me through the pain that they experience when for every single one of their videos, when they need a click or a whoosh, they will scroll for 20 minutes through endless sound libraries trying to find the exact sound effect that they have playing in their head. But the truth is, you should only be doing this process once. Find sound effects that you really like from your very first video. Put them into a library and use them for all of your following videos. Not only is this 100 times quicker when you go to add sound effects to those later videos, but it actually makes your content more predictable and familiar to the viewer, basically increasing its performance and quality at the same time. And this is the difference between spending literally hours looking for sound effects and doing them all in 10 or 15 minutes. A rule that I like to use generally is if you're doing something more than once, look to either automate it or put it into a template so you can repeat it really easily. So just reuse those same sound effects from your saved library every single video and your results will improve. Okay, tip number 4 is specifically about the editing itself. This is one of the biggest mistakes I've seen creators make, and I am occasionally guilty of it myself as well. For this educational authority building content, a lot of creators, especially in short form, think that better editing is more editing. So more cuts, more effects, more captions, more of everything. But this actually makes the video worse, as well as making it take longer to produce. And this is because you're spending all of your time editing instead of focusing on the clarity of the message. You don't need many edits at all. Just a clean cut, some nice visuals, some good sound effects, and you can basically put out the video just like that. Over editing can actually distract the viewer from the message of your video and from what you're saying. So next time you're editing, instead of asking yourself, what can I add? Ask yourself what you can remove, because you'll likely improve the clarity and quality of your video while doing it. I personally only like to add in visuals or graphics when I think it visually enhances what I am saying. Now, if you don't believe this, take a look at some of my short form like TikTok and Instagram Reel channels, and you will see that some of my most heavily edited videos on there have actually been the ones that have performed the worst. And not only is this bad because it performs bad, but it's also really frustrating because you feel like you did all of that work for nothing. Okay, tip number 5 is to reuse proven ideas. This is where you can really save insane amounts of time. A lot of people try and come up with completely new and organic ideas every single time they post. Imagine you are posting daily and you are trying to come up with an organic, high-performing idea for that video every single day. Not only is that going to take a lot of time before you've even started filming your video, but it's also going to be exhausting mentally. The other option is to just take a proven idea within your niche and add your own twist to it. So keep the same structure, keep the perspective, change the hook, change the editing style, use your own library of sound effects, and watch it perform super well. Save it, reuse it. Like I said earlier, if you're a creator trying to build your authority across long periods of time, you'll be posting every day or multiple times a week. And when you do something more than once, either automate it, which you can't really do with content, or build a template that lets you do it easier. Use other creators' proven ideas within your niche as templates for your own video, and it will make the process so much easier and also make your videos perform better. Instead of reinventing every video, you are following an instruction manual that is proven to have already worked. That's literally what I've done for the video you're watching right now. And if you guys can guess who I've taken inspiration from for this video, drop his name down in the comments and I'll tell you if you're correct. Tip number 6 is about adding creative constraints. Now this does sound a little bit counterintuitive at first. You're probably thinking, constraints? What do you mean constraints? But let me explain. Sometimes setting some limits for yourself can actually make things faster. If you give yourself unlimited options, you'll spend forever choosing between different fonts, different effects, different styles of captions, and your brain will just get really tired from the decision fatigue. But if you decide for your video, your channel, and your presence that you use this style of editing, this caption style, this sound effect library, everything becomes a lot faster because all the time that you spent deciding goes to executing. So if you give yourself some constraints, you'll be way quicker with producing and editing your videos, as well as making a presence and familiar style that your viewers can count on. So in summary, right? Stop chasing perfect takes, use automation and AI to speed up things like captions, build your own sound library, edit with clarity in mind, not volume, reuse proven ideas and templates, and give yourself some creative constraints. If you do this, you will save so much time with pushing out high quality, attractive content. Listen, that's it for this one. This was my first full video on this channel, and if you got to this point, I really appreciate it, and thank you for staying to the end. If you got value from this, just consider leaving it a like so I can help other people in your position with producing content faster. Once again, thanks for getting this far, and I'll see you in the next video.